How's it going, guys? Jack and Matter from the Toasty Bros, and today we're going to be taking a look at this RTX 2060 Super from NVIDIA.
Yes, NVIDIA. This is a graphics card that when it showed up, I was like, there's no way this is actually real. But after doing some benchmarking, it's a legit card and it might actually be a pretty decent deal for you guys, especially the international market. But before we dive into that, let's hear a word from today's sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by our friends at Cooler Master and their super cool VSFX 1300 watt power supply that is built with quality in mind, featuring 100% Japanese capacitors, ATX 3.0 support for the latest RTX 40 and 30 series graphics cards, along with super clean, fully modular power supply cables to make a premium power supply that is leading the SFX power supply industry in power design, while also being a super compact, high power density unit. This power supply can also be used in standard ATX cases, not just ITX cases with the included bracket. If you would like a chance to win one of these SFX power supplies, then you should check the link down below and fill out the form to enter the giveaway, and you can also post your PC build with the following hashtags for a chance to win a $100 Steam gift card. Big thanks again to Cooler Master for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get into the video.
So lately we've been reviewing a lot of these kind of no-name brand cards that are really just straight from China. They don't have any formal branding really besides their own, and yeah, as you can see, this one tried really hard to fit in and it did not do a good job. It even says AMD and NVIDIA graphics on it, and you would think it's fake, but it kind of gives me hope that with all of these generic cards coming out, the manufacturers are just able to get whatever chipset they want and make a really modern day and really good card. So let's talk some more about this thing.
Alright, so at the time of recording this video, we bought this graphics card for about $160 shipped from Aliexpress. If you do go to the link right now, I think it's up to like $170, which isn't as appealing of a deal because if you go on eBay right now, 2060 Supers go for about 180 bucks. So paying $10 more for a local deal instead of paying, well, this for a card that is most likely used and most likely has, well, a very interesting design to it, might be a better option for you, especially if you're from the US. But let's go over some of the key specs of 2060 Supers because this is a legit 2060 Super. It has 2,176 CUDA cores. It does come with 8 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory, which is very good, especially for a graphics card under $200. This card did originally release back in 2019, and it was a launch price of $399. It is a PCI 3.0 card by 16, so you really want to have any issues with bandwidth if you're using, let's say, a by 3 system. Instead of going Gen 4, you don't really have to go Gen 4 with this card. And it is built on the 12 nanometer architecture. Now, as you can tell by some of the B-roll on screen here, this box really made us think this was not a real card, and it took a lot longer than some of these other graphics cards did take to get in from AliExpress, and it spells gaming in a weird way. It's NVIDIA. It does say Intel or AMD on the box, and then the back is basically just a copy paste from NVIDIA's website and all their marketing materials, but it's an interesting single fan card, and what we're gonna go ahead and do is throw it in this test bench, which we have right here, and Jax will talk about here in a second. Is it actually gonna perform like a 2060 Super? Spoiler alert, it will perform pretty well, but there are some issues with it, just mainly due to the design, and if that design is actually worth the cost savings.
So our test bench is actually a Ryzen 7 5700X, which is an 8-core 16-thread. We have a very nice Asus TUF B550 housing it so that we have full Gen 4 support out of the box. We have 16 gigs of PNY accelerate, and that is 3600 megahertz, just so we don't have any speed issues. We have an XPG 650 watt power supply. We have a very beautiful deep cool case with a deep cool liquid cooler so that we're not constrained as far as temps go. And yeah, it's a pretty good little test bench. We also have a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD, and this graphics card is definitely not going to be holding the rest of the system back. So let's see how she does.
Yeah, so we're gonna slap it in the test bench. It only requires a single 8-pin for power, which is pretty standard for these like cheaper 2060 Supers. So we're gonna slap it in there, see if this thing is worth the money, and then talk about some of the cons when it comes to this really cheap card.
Alright guys, now that we have this very weird RTX 2060 Super on our test bench, let's dive into some benchmarks, shall we? Now the games we decided to test are as follows. We got Call of Duty Warzone 2.0, we got Hogwarts Legacy, we got Apex Legends, Forza Horizon 5, and Cyberpunk. All games were tested at 1080p, and we will mention all the settings when we get to each game. Now first up in Warzone 2.0, we did use the Resurgence mode, so do keep in mind the main game mode might be a little bit harder to run than Resurgence, but we were were on the balanced preset 1080p, and we were getting 110 plus FPS, but dips into the 90s. But that performance definitely does not make you a better gamer. As you can see, I was struggling a little bit in Warzone 2.0, but regardless, the performance is like a 2060 Super. You do have 8 gigs of VRAM, which I think for a really good AAA title 1080p experience is kind of the minimum nowadays, and you're paying for a card for $160 to $170 that will play those games and actually be able to do some live streaming. You can use DLSS as well to get even more performance if you want to stretch into, let's say, 1440p. Being able to run like DLSS balanced in most games will give you even more performance with the 2060 Super. Now, the only concern, and as you see throughout the benchmark run, is the temperatures with this card. It is a single fan 2060 Super. I don't think they made many of those from the likes of MSI and other card manufacturers out there. So yeah, getting into the high 70s isn't ideal. And I would expect during the long gaming sessions, we'd probably average around in the 80s. This card isn't super well built, but again, we're still getting 2060 Super level performance for under $200, so really can't complain too much. Next up is a new game to the benchmarking rotation, Hogwarts Legacy, running 1080p medium settings with DLSS on with quality mode. We actually got 100 plus FPS when roaming around outside of Hogwarts, but once you get into Hogwarts, the FPS does tend to drop. But outside of Hogwarts, as you can see, getting a smooth FPS experience, but pretty much any system when you actually go back to Hogwarts and walk around and see all the beautiful scenery going on, your FPS does tank a little bit, even at 1080p. But it is pretty impressive to see that this card is running 1080p medium settings in a game right now that is pretty demanding to run. Now, if I were to build a PC with this little card, or if I were just going to buy one on eBay, in general, a 2060 Super would work very well with an i5-12400F. You could easily build a PC for, let's say, $700-800 with this card, and you'd be able to do some live streaming and even some entry-level 1440p gaming. Let me know in the comment section down below what kind of CPU you want to see us pair with this card, because we will be doing a build guide with it, because with the average going rate of like $170 on the used market for a 2060 Super, I think that would be a good option for those looking to get into live streaming and want a better encoder than something like the RX 6600 can offer. Now let's talk about Apex Legends 1080p high settings. Using the new team deathmatch mode, we got 130 plus FPS. Once again, we got the frame rate, but you know what? I was struggling here with the new team deathmatch mode. Let me know down below. There's a lot of running around trying to find people. I feel like the maps are a little too big or the teams are a little too small. Let me know what your opinion is in the comment section down below. But yeah, a higher end AAA title that is more on the side of esports, getting a high refresh rate experience at 1080p, showing that there is some headroom to go up to 1440p if we want to. Now let's go into those built-in benchmarks. We have Forza Horizon 5 1080p high settings, got a 97 FPS average. That is on par with a 2060 Super, so far so good with this card. And as I mentioned a couple of times, this would be good for live streaming as well. That NVIDIA encoder will produce some really high quality streams, and when you want to go AMD with like an RX 6600, yes, you can live stream on it, but the quality isn't as good. AMD's encoder is still slacking a little bit. While they are making upgrades, NVIDIA's is just that much better. So getting a card like this for live streaming would be pretty smart of you, especially if you could find it at the right price. And the last game we tested was Cyberpunk 1080p high settings with a balanced DLSS, and we ended up getting a 99 FPS average with a 42 FPS minimum and a 150 FPS max. So in recap, this card did absolutely everything it could to look like an absolute scam, but it showed up in one piece and worked. The card is a working 2060 Super, so I really can't bash it. It does what it says it's going to. The build quality isn't great. That little display on the side that has like the NVIDIA logo is using like one little LED, it looks like, and it's already going out. It doesn't look that great. While also being only a single fan card for 2060 Super is a little bit worrisome, but it is cooling it enough where it's not thermal throttling, so we don't have to worry about that. But just overall, it's a really cheap card that you could probably find a better version of on eBay for a little bit more money, which I would recommend you spend that money. But if you're in an international market and you want to buy from Aliexpress, this could be a good option for you as long as it stays around $150 to $160. Much more than that, and I don't think it's that good of a buy, but you can always dive on Aliexpress yourself and find some other cards, and let me know if you find some interesting ones down below. I'm having fun benchmarking all these different graphics cards that are basically older chipsets that are being put onto the new coolers and stuff from these different companies, and it's a really cool way to see older cards getting repurposed in the market. So now we finished the benchmarking section of today's video. How to bring Jackson back in here to wrap this video up real quick.
Alright guys, we just got done benchmarking our NVIDIA 2060 Super, and it is a 2060 Super. It works, it actually plays games pretty well. A little high in the temps, and like Matt said, that little LCD, or really actually it's just an LED behind a little back panel. It's grainy, it looks ugly, it doesn't really work properly, but hey, it doesn't stop the card from being pretty freaking cool and pretty freaking NVIDIA. So yeah, thumbs up on that. Like Matt said, don't go out of your way just to buy this card. If you can get a used 2060 Super on eBay or something like that, I would much rather go with that than buying this, because yeah, you never know what you're really gonna get. I mean, you could get really unlucky and get an actual NVIDIA card or an AMD card in this box. I mean, you don't really know when you're ordering from another country, and how's the RMA gonna be? I don't know.
Yeah, it might not work out well for you. At the price that we bought it at, like 150, 160 bucks, I mean, it's kind of a gamble that you can try. But yeah, I'd probably be willing to spend an extra 30 bucks even on another card just from like eBay instead of getting this one. But it was still a surprise to see that this card tried everything it could to look like a scam, but it was actually legit. So if you wanna go shopping yourself on Aliexpress, check the link down below. The affiliate link will help us out. But yeah, let us know what you think of this NVIDIA card. If you wanna buy one yourself, definitely check the link down below. And if you see any other weird cards out there that you're like, man, that's a good deal, but is it too good to be true? Comment down below and we'll try our best to take a look at it.
So as always, we hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, check out our other 2 YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/toastybros, and do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.
Now, you know who won't scam you? PCBros.tech. This will be inside of a PC though, so you might think it's a scam, but hey, 1-year warranty, parts and labor, so if it is a scam, just send it back to us.
Send it back, we'll cover it by our warranty. PCBros.tech, gaming PCs, gaming laptops, and so much more. Use code ToastyBros2 on checkout and you'll save 2% on your next purchase, and also buy some PC Bros and Toasty Bros merch. PCBros.tech. See you guys later. Goodbye.
Peace out.